Alright, it's the boss of all bosses, the last true great, the best car ever made? I'm definitely not saying it ain't. Of course, we're talking about the W140 Mercedes S-Class. But its designer, ergo our beloved creator, Bruno Sacco, who was a chief engineer at Mercedes-Benz from 1974 to 1999, who oversaw the production of 3 S-Classes? Well, he had a confession to make. In a 2006 interrogation, when asked if there was a model design he wasn't happy with, he answered, the W140 S-Class from the early 90s, because it's 4 inches too tall. That's what she said. Now, this is interesting, because while you could say that this S-Class is the most S-Class of all S-Classes, it did get criticized for its looks. Everyone watching this video thinks you're gorgeous. And of course, when somebody asks for a Photoshop on Ben's World, they receive. And suddenly, I've got content. Oh, let's have a look. Alright, so here's the original. Big, bold, stately, of course. Now for the shorter version. So you see from the Photoshop, somebody just cropped what could be 4 inches off the top. You know, of course, in the statement, maybe it could have been 3 inches off the window area, 1 inch off the body, but you know what? Let's work with this. Let it sink in a little. At first, I thought it was ridiculous too, but you know what? I'm kind of feeling this low look, and this does appear to be a long body model. So look, the actual height of the vehicle is 58.5 inches. And the length, it's just over 201 inches for the short body and just over 205 inches for the long body. And oh man, it's a beautiful body. And you know, indeed, the 140 is taller than both its predecessor and successor. Here we have a better angle. Yes, we see the original, and here's the other version. See, I tricked you there. Because, you know, bias and this and that. Okay, so look, I get it. Golly gee, I get it. And you know, you have a look at this one long enough, and then when you go back, yeah, we've got a problem here, boys. You know, someone on the forum did make a point that, you know, maybe Bruno's just a cool guy and he wasn't talking literally. You know, maybe he was referring to the over-engineered and over-budgeted nature of his creation, you know? A shorter S-Class looks more futuresque. On the other hand, the taller one looks more stately. Alright, imagine this scenario. It's boardroom decision time. The puck stops with you. You've got to make the call, you've got to make the decision. You're going to tell me it's an easy one? You know, I'll let you know what I think. This is genuinely not easy for me. You know, I'd actually like to take this opportunity to criticize a little something about the W140 myself, but it's not the outside. As far as I'm concerned, the exterior is very, very good. It's just so classy gangster, I love it. And many agree, of course. It was 50 Cent who lyrically explained the great lengths one was willing to go in order to acquire said vehicle, including but not limited to murder. Admirable ambitions indeed. I understand. Now, before I criticize anything, I do want to preface with, you know, an appreciation and an understanding of the build, quality, and engineering. I've seen and have been told by mechanics that, you know, the 140 just trumps the 220 all day, every day. I respect. And hey, for sure, the pre-facelift models of W220, big downgrade in terms of interior quality and feel, for sure. The same can't be said for the post-facelift models. There's a lot to love. The dual pane glass that doesn't fog up. The footwell liner material designed with absorbing cushion for your feet in case of an accident. And most importantly, all the things going on behind the scenes, like the PSC system, just magnificent. So what's my beef? It's the console. The center console and its lack of symmetry. There, I said it. And this feels a little dangerous right now. It's not a small thing. I don't like this at all. Yeah, you might not be following me, so let's compare S-Classes. Starting off with its predecessor, the W126, you've got the console. Right above, you've got the vents. Everything nice and symmetrical all the way around. Great design. Moving on to the W220, the Benzo of the turn of the century. Yes, it's a product of merger insanity, but we have the console, we've got the vents, all lined up above, everything, you get the whole symmetry idea. It works. Even the current W222, it's the modern look, but you've got a screen right above, you've got the vents, you've got the climate control buttons, everything is nice and lined up. The last one in the middle, W221, honestly looking very similar to the 222, and you know, this makes it the deal of the century right now, this vehicle. Given what it is and how much it costs, this is the one to get. But anyway, we see the same thing. Screen, vents, buttons, everything nice and lined up. So, the 140. Golly gee, I cannot get over this asymmetrical nonsense going on. Here we see the proper center console, but look at this vent stuff. It's just shifted over. come on. I can't be the only one who gets bugged by this. Alright, listen. Rate these from hottest to nottest. Don't tell me the 140 is top in the list. I mean, no way. Even this amazing concept had the same issue. And it is actually amazing. Hey, in a parallel universe, yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, can anyone actually translate this comic? Serious question. It would be nice. You know, I understand if you were born with a crooked nose, you can't really help it. But this was designed. So look, it's easy to complain and call something ugly, but let's have a look and figure this out. Let's just focus on the 126 and the 140. You can see it's actually a similar design. It would seem that the instrument cluster is a little bit oversized along with its housing maybe, hence why it looks like it's visually pushing the upper part of the center console away. Remember, it's not just the vents up there. There's also the dials, the sunglasses storage compartment, along with the buttons for the opening of this compartment and the glove box. I mean, you know. So let's have a look at this cluster, and we see a dial for a clock. Now comparing it to the W126 cluster, that's what you call a crunch. But you know, when you look closer, you realize it's not because of the instrument cluster size. They're actually both similar. It's just the design language in general that's just bad. It's just not working here. Look here how the symmetrical design goes beyond just the vents lining up with the center console. We can see the housing for the ignition and the glove box key, how they're just perfectly proportionate to each other. Like, this is good design. Here, because it seems like they took the cluster housing and extended it downward, and also they moved the vents higher up in the dash. It just looks like a conflict between elements here. It just looks like a push and shove. Bruno, it looks like the alignment is off by... oh my god. I'd say it's off by 4 inches. You know what? It could actually be. Oh no, the rabbit hole. Now guys, listen, even though I'm being critical of the design here, make no mistake. If I was given the choice between a great conditioned W140 or a brand new vehicle with an MSRP of up to 40 grand US, I'm taking the W140 all day, every day. Because while this is bad, and you know what? Come on, tell me I'm wrong here. It doesn't really matter because the richness of all the materials in this cabin, yes. Honestly, I think this beats the Bentley Rolls Royces of the same era. Yeah, the British might have leather wrapped stitching on the dash, but you know what? They just cannot touch the execution of the Germans. No way. The rippled leather on the doors, the tranches of fabric, the thickness of it. Oh my god. But most of all, it's the ride, the power delivery, and the quietness. 64 decibels at 70 miles an hour. Remember, we're talking about 1991 here, guys. Hey, guys, come on, you can't say one bad thing? You know what, you're right. It's me, it's not the center console. So go ahead and buy this cool throw pillow, or any of this other cool stuff on this cool website. And if you use my links down below, I get a small piece of the action. What a deal, what a deal. Alright, let's go back to the interview. Mr. Sacco was asked about his favorite designs, among them being the W220. Yes, it's got a perfect ass. The W140, the ass is just slightly too big for me. Still a great ass. But personally, I think his greatest work is his last, the R230. My goodness. That's actually a better ass. So thank you so much, Bruno. Unfortunately, Mr. Sacco is in his 80s and he's retired. I don't think he speaks English, so a DM is out of the question. It would have been nice to get some words from him, you know, a little interview maybe, and some words of praise, but that's not gonna happen. There is one other gentleman, however, who did play a key role in designing many of the Benzos that we cherish today, including the 220. It'd be amazing to get a word out of him, a little interview, something. So please accept my LinkedIn invite, Mr. Madden. So anyway, I'm genuinely curious. What do you think, huh? You know, I'm thinking this one.